and welcome to this month's Avera Family Forum. This is a partnership with the Sioux Falls School District education professionals and the medical professionals and behavioral health professionals of Avera Hospital. This program is your one-stop shop for information about surviving the summer of 2025, from where to find information to how to access summer learning, to also some growth opportunities for your student and your family this summer. We are starting with Kristen Henriksen. She is the Avera Behavioral Health Urgent Care Manager. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the services provided through Avera Behavioral Health and why that might be important for the summer.
Sure. Anytime that families or students are experiencing a mental health crisis, they can call us 605-322-4065. We also have a 24/7 urgent care that they can come in, and we'll do a level of care assessment. We'll do crisis response planning, means safety counseling. We could do referral to inpatient services or to our partial program or community services as well.
So a full continuum of services if a family finds themselves in a situation where when should they call? Like, we don't want these situations to get to a super critical point, although you're available for that as well.
Right.
But when and what are some of the signs and symptoms that things might be headed that direction?
Sure. If they're experiencing a lot of depression, they're not able to do their normal activities, that would be a great time to call. Anxiety, if they have some panic attacks, that would also be a great time to come in. Anytime they're having suicidal ideation or ideas or plans.
Okay, and so that is obviously a scary time for a family to notice these signs and symptoms. Better to call and find out how to respond rather than waiting things out.
Most definitely.
Okay, and during a school year, we typically have those first point of contact resources, like we notice if a student isn't in attendance at school or if friends change, that type of thing. There's maybe more touch points during a school year. But in the summertime months, everybody gets busy with various things going on, and there aren't as many adults in the lives of kids in the summer months just because they're not coming to school and don't have those regular contacts. So super important during that time that we're not letting up on the throttle if there are some concerns with the family.
And we also see students coming in for concerns with relationships or maybe bullying issues.
Just a wide continuum then. And so you can have those inpatient services. It could also be a day service or just a meeting with a counselor as well?
So the partial program offers 20 hours of programming during 2 weeks, and we have that for adolescents and we have that for adults as well.
And are you seeing more and more need for this in our community?
Yes.
Anything that parents can do even before it gets to the point of needing these services?
I recommend just keeping in touch with your child, watching their habits. Are they eating? Are they sleeping? Are they doing their normal activities? Are they hanging out with friends, or are they staying home and sleeping all day and lethargic?
Yeah, I know a lot of kids it's summer, they want to sleep, but that continuous activity and routine is probably
very important
and necessary to just kind of keep that going. Remind us again, how do people get in contact with Avera if they have a behavioral health concern?
Sure. Well, they can come by 24/7 to our urgent care, and our master's trained counselors and then behavioral health technicians and nurses will see them. Otherwise, they can give us a phone call at 605-322-4065.
and reach out if there's any questions. It doesn't mean you have to enter into
Yes.
that system as yet, but if there are any questions along the way, obviously your staff is available to assist.
The counselors are who answer those phone calls, so
Awesome.
definitely a great place to
Yeah.
get information.
Huge resource and need for our community. So thank you for providing that and for sharing the information with us today, Kristen.
Thank you for having me here.
Janet Kittens, the CEO from Helpline Center, is joining us now to tell us a little bit about the services offered through Helpline. And you guys have been around for a number of years already.
Yes, we just celebrated our 50th anniversary.
Oh my
so
goodness.
51 years.
I would not have said 50 years, but that's
Yes.
fantastic. Over that time, you've grown up with Sioux Falls,
Yes.
really. And what are some of the services that are provided through the Helpline, and how can families access that service?
Probably the most widely known services are our 3-digit phone numbers. We have 211, which has been around for a long time, and that's for any kind of community resources, whether you need housing or food assistance, financial assistance, you can call 24 hours a day. And then our newer 3-digit phone number, 988, is specifically for mental health or substance use kinds of questions, concerns, or crisis kinds of things that come up. And that ones you can call, text, or chat 24 hours a day. So that's available for family and students.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about 988 for a few minutes. I know you're doing a number of things trying to spread awareness about that
Yes.
resource. When someone calls 988, what kind of service are they receiving?
Sure. So our 988 is answered by all mental health professionals. So those folks have experience in dealing with any kind of behavioral health issue, whether that's like anxiety, depression, or even like an alcohol or drinking problem, that kind of thing. So when they call, we just really ask what prompted them to call and just have a conversation and allow them to talk with us. Sometimes folks are calling on behalf of someone else, like worried about my family member or my friend. Sometimes they're calling on behalf of their own selves, and they're just worried, like, I haven't been myself lately. I'm not quite sure what this means. What do I do? What kind of help is available?
And then you're able to refer them additionally to other services in our community. As such, we just heard from Avera Behavioral Health, and
Correct.
so they would be the medical entities then
Yes.
that would work with someone.
Yeah, we have an amazing resource database specifically of all the mental health resources in this community. So when we have somebody on the phone, we can connect them with whether it's an individual practitioner, a family practice doc, or Avera Behavioral Health for an assessment. So we can do all of those things.
Wonderful, and that is critical, as we just heard, because there are fewer touch points for students and families during the summer months,
Yes.
being out of school, and different things can happen along the way. But additionally, that 211 resource, which is the original purpose of Helpline, it's everything and anything if you have questions about Sioux Falls or South Dakota in general, right?
Yes, we answer a lot of different questions, a lot about government services, anything to do with the city of Sioux Falls or even state government resources. In addition, if people are looking for support groups or any kind of information about our community resource that might be going on, or if they need childcare, or if they want to volunteer, we can take all of those calls.
Yeah, and it really is. On the website, you go out there on the website and you think, oh my gosh, there's a lot to offer here, and pretty much anything you need. Like you said, if families need help with food or have insecurities regarding that in the summer months or what have you, that's a great place for them to go. So if you haven't been on their website yet, do go out and search, and I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for and something you didn't know. What are some of the most unusual questions you get through? I know during COVID, you guys were you were part of the city's response to that, really getting information out. Various times throughout the year when we've had flooding or natural disasters around, you've hooked people up with volunteers to help and that kind of thing. But what are some of the strangest types of questions you get?
Yeah, so I think, in a disaster situation, you get a lot of unusual kinds of questions or concerns, and that could be everything, like you said, from a flooding to a tornado, just that response. And, sometimes we just hear a lot of, concern and desperation in people's voices, during those times, because if they've never experienced anything like that before, sometimes it's just us taking time to talk with them, to be with them, and then making sure they get connected to whatever resource is appropriate for that.
Right. And so when a call ends, your next step, or before a call ends maybe, is getting them connected in some way
Yes.
to whatever they need, whether that's providing them with another phone number or something along the line?
Yeah, oftentimes we will have resources and we'll text it to that individual so they have it right on their phone so they know where they need to go next. And certainly we can provide it verbally over the phone too if that works, or we can even email it if that's how they prefer it. So it's getting the right resource into their hands, because I think people don't understand how much help is available, and so that's where 211 comes in, is that we can connect them with all of those helping resources.
Right. Helpline Center.
Yes.
211-988. Those are both important numbers to remember. And how much volume do you guys handle?
Sure. So every month, the 211 answers between 4,000 and 5,000 phone calls. Yeah, and then a 988, it's about 1,200 to 1,400 calls every month. Yeah.
Right.
So
it's like the old operator when we used to dial 0, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Just dial 211. So thanks a lot for joining us, Janet.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes.
Webben is our fine arts coordinator for the Sioux Falls School District. Summer's a great time to relax and sort of step away from schedules. But when you're talking about fine arts, you really want to continue to fine-tune your skills and not lose those skills over the summer months. So how can students who are interested in music, art, all forms of fine arts, how can they participate?
You're right. We really want to keep kids playing their instruments, especially over the summer, so they don't lose those skills, especially our young beginner players. And we have a very popular summer music program that's been around for many, many years. That's our summer youth band and orchestra program. Runs starting the first part of June through the first part of July. That's been a popular program. In fact, I remember doing that when I was in elementary school many years ago.
Not so many.
Yep. A really great opportunity for kids to come together 3 days a week, do some playing, and then do some community performances too. Outside, we love having those outdoor concerts, and it's a really great opportunity to keep playing, but also it's a bit of different music that students maybe not are playing during their normal school year. So a lot of fun pop music really gets kids involved, and some fantastic directors working with our kids.
Yeah, and those directors are staff members of the Sioux Falls School District,
Yes.
and they work as a large band or orchestra, and it's just great that kids from all over, from different schools, can come together and make music.
Yes, all over, coming to one site for a summer band and orchestra. We have them grouped based on their grade they're going into, what their experience, so they're playing the appropriate music that they can be successful at.
Awesome, very, very fun. So you can sign up through community education for that program.
Yes.
And Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, pretty much all of June, part of July.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Show choir, there's opportunity there too for
Yes.
students interested in show choir?
Yes, right now we have 2 high schools hosting middle school show choir camps this summer, Roosevelt and Washington.
I bet those are going to be popular.
Oh yes, and any student can sign up for those. It's a great opportunity if you're going to one of those schools to check it out, but really again open to all students in the district to participate. Great opportunity to be singing and dancing this summer.
Right, very good. Is there you said all students, so there's no tryouts or anything like that for any of these programs?
Exactly. Open to everyone. If you have experience with band and orchestra playing, you can be a part of summer youth band and orchestra, and then show choir. It's open to anyone who wants to sing and dance.
Awesome. I think the orchestra too is just a couple of years old. We never used to have a summer orchestra program. It's just a couple of years old. So, certainly something for everyone in that realm. And also, if you want to take lessons or have a more of that small group or one-on-one lesson time.
Right. Through
that's
community
available.
ed, we will continue to offer lessons, guitar, piano, instrument lessons. That program is run through community ed. That offer is offered throughout the school year as well for those interested in some private lessons. Again, that sign up through community ed.
Okay, you can find that on the Sioux Falls School District website, and we'll be sharing this information out to families. But again, if you are someone in the community who doesn't have a child in the Sioux Falls Public Schools, we welcome you to participate in the Youth Summer Band and Orchestra, and just a lot of great opportunities to keep kids active in the summer and doing what they love.
I think really important to note too is we want to make sure that any student who's interested can participate. So there are scholarship opportunities through a lot of great community partners and some of our district programming. We're able to offer these to any student who's interested. They just need to reach out, and we will make sure that we get students involved. We want to keep them playing and singing and making music and fine arts over the summer.
Love it. Thanks for joining us, Shane.
Thank you.
Summer's a great time for kids to connect with possible careers for their future, and Shar is here today to tell us a little bit about what's available in terms of summer camp opportunities for kids in the Sioux Falls School District.
Great.
So
we have a variety of different camps available for 7th to 9th graders. And we have baking and pastries camp, we have a culinary camp, and then we have carpentry camp.
okay.
And then we also have welding camp, and we have healthcare camp.
And those are all for 7th through 9th grade, and that'll get them connected to a possible career or just a passion that they might have.
Yes, I mean, we have kids that just really have an interest in, knowing, just they get exposed to, like, for instance, the healthcare camp that we have for 7th through 9th graders. That gives them a variety of different ideas as far as just, it's not just nursing or being a doctor.
Right.
They look at dental assisting. They look at a variety of different things that are available to them in the healthcare.
So if you're having conversations with your kiddos about, what are you thinking you might want to do, recognizing that middle school is still a developmental time, high school is still a developmental time, and heck, some college kids aren't quite sure yet either, and that's okay. But this is a good time, summer is a good time to start just taking in a lot of that information to help you make a decision.
Yes, and that's what our hope is just to promote that so that they can get some ideas and think about what they may want to do.
And you have some healthcare career type opportunities for high school students as well?
Yes, we have one day that they go over to the Avera campus, and high school students going into grades 10, 11, or 12 could take that camp. It's free. We meet here at the CTE Academy and board a bus and go over there. Then they just, again, look at a lot of different things. Like, for instance, they'll look at what it is to be a surgical technician or what it is to be a physical therapist. They have people that come in and talk to the students, or we go and tour that part of the hospital.
Right, and so, if they're not able to do a camp of several days in a row for several hours or something like that, a one-time day to go over there, when is that they would participate in that, and how do they sign up?
It's Wednesday, June 18th. We board the bus here at 8:30, and then we're back at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And there is a flyer that has gone out to the high schools.
Okay.
And then we'll have a QR code that they will have to use just to sign up.
Sure, so it's a short time span, but they'll be able to see quite a bit in that amount of time.
Yes, they just do an excellent job. I've gone over there the last few years, and it's been very beneficial for students that are looking at health care.
Yeah, and even maybe if they, like you said, you think nursing, doctor, dentist, whatever, but healthcare is so broad these days. Just a variety of places where people can find their niche and find their interest.
Yes.
Anything else you think people should know about camps in the Sioux Falls School District over the summer months?
Well, and if you're a middle school student going into 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, we do have the healthcare camp available here at CTE, and then we spend 2 days up at Southeast Tech looking at the different programs that they have available up there and going through, again, just different situations with healthcare. And then we also offer high school classes online, and we also have some classes in person out here at CTE this summer.
Yeah, so kids can get credit over the summer months if they're, maybe looking to free up time in their schedule during the school year. Summer school classes are a great way to do that. Maybe if they, speech isn't really my deal, I don't want to give, to a whole huge class or something like that. Maybe there's time in the summer and you want to try it then. And so people can sign up for that as well. What's the sign up process for that?
So that is offered through Community Ed, and then you can sign up through Community Ed.
Yeah, so go to our website and find information about high school summer school classes. And also these other resources are available as well. And we hope that you can get your kiddo connected to something that will lead them to a bright future in a career that they love. All right, summer is for free time, but you know what? It doesn't hurt to get back into the school every once in a while just to make sure you're up to speed on what's going on. And we have a program for incoming sixth graders. It's really important for them to, I know there are a lot of jitters, just fifth graders coming into middle school. They don't know what to expect. Oh my gosh, is my locker gonna open? All those kinds of things. We have a program called Running Start that's district-wide, but of course, we're making it extra special over at Ben Rifle Middle School, where they call it?
We call it Bison Boost.
Bison Boost. Shane Hieronymus is the principal over at Ben Rifle. Tell us, what is Bison Boost or Running Start or whatever kind of program we have for incoming sixth graders?
Yeah, so we have the program in all of our middle schools. It's really set up to help kids orientate themselves to come to middle school. It's a big transition coming from elementary into middle school, and so that orientation really does help them settle in and understand what middle school is all about. You kind of hit on it. They have three big stressors: locker, getting lost, and then all of a sudden lunch is completely different, right?
Yeah.
So they have 6 options to choose from, and all of a sudden they just don't understand what that is all about. So it's really about settling their nerves and making sure that when they come back to school, they're comfortable, they hit the ground running, have a great experience those first couple weeks of school, and really get themselves acclimated to middle school.
Okay, I gotta say this. You're talking about kids getting comfortable, but sometimes parents are the ones that are nervous about things as well. Like, is my kid gonna be able to navigate a huge building when they've been used to the same, class or hallway in an elementary school? And how is that for parents? I mean, getting your kids settled should also settle the parents.
Very
right?
much so. We at Ben Rifle run a program called Surviving Middle School in Your Adolescent. And we just did that here on April 1st, where our incoming 6th grade families are able to come in for a night and learn about Ben Rifle 1, but also learn about their adolescent, because many of them, the families that we have come in, have never had an adolescent before or not a middle schooler. And so it's just learning about who they are, what they think about, how they think. And so it's a great experience for them to come in to also settle their nerves about kids coming to middle school.
Right, very good. Well, I think those are important programs. Bison Boost is a great way to build school community as well, and sort of that loyalty, because I know we want kids to feel like they belong and that they are part of something bigger. And I know, Ben Rifle, you've done a fantastic job over there of creating a community, a family of people, and that's super important.
Very much, and I mean, we really go back to the Bison way. Those are our core values, and that sense of belonging is part of that, and that's that unity piece that we constantly are talking about, and how are we coming together as a family and supporting one another and being a champion for one another. And so it's so crucial, and Bison Boost really does build upon that. It really sets the stage for them to understand our 4 core values of unity, excellence, empathy, and integrity. And that is part of that piece of it, and creating that sense of belonging. The other thing we do during the summertime is we have Web Orientation Day in August, where all of our 6th graders come in and they work with our web leaders and start to build those team building activities, again, helping them transition to middle school. And what Pro Time is all about and what middle school is all about.
Right. Web, where everyone belongs. Yeah, it's a short acronym. We have tons of acronyms in education. That's just one of them. But really a chance for then the 8th graders to be leaders and help those younger students grow and maybe become web leaders themselves one day.
Yeah, very much so. And that's the neat thing about when we talk about our core values. Part of that is being a leader in the building and learning how to not only be a leader in your building, but how are you a leader in the community and giving back to the community. And that's the neat thing about our web leaders. They are our role model kids in the building, and it's a good thing that the 6th graders have someone to look up to. And they're helping out those first few weeks of school to help kids acclimate as well. So it's a great experience for both our 6th grade and our 8th graders.
So we have these opportunities. I know we're talking a lot about Ben Rifle, but any middle school in Sioux Falls has these opportunities. How does a family get a 6th grader connected? Or how are they receiving information from the school?
Yeah, so we have Running Start in all 6 of our middle schools. I would encourage you to reach out to your building's administration so that if you don't have that information, that they can get you that information, because we want kids to be connected. We want kids to get involved with our Running Start and our Bison Boost programs. The other place is a great place to look is in your school's newsletters. We'll post that information in there, give you the ability to register for those classes. We do ours starting May 1st. And so our families are getting excited about, and they have the information, and so they're ready to register.
Right. Make your plans now. There is something to do over the summer for your kiddos, and hopefully it'll ease those concerns come first day of school.
Yep, very much so.
All right, thanks, Shane. We all know that food fuels the brain, and summer is no exception. We need great, healthy meals during the summertime as well. Gay Anderson is our coordinator of our child nutrition program in the Sioux Falls School District, and the ovens do not stay turned off in the summer months,
That's
do
a good
they?
point. That's a very good point.
The kitchen is hot and it gets hotter in the summer. So tell us about the summer food program that we have in the Sioux Falls School District. We've had this for a number of years, and yet still many families aren't aware of what's available out there.
Sure. So basically we start our summer program right after Memorial Day, May 29th. We're kicking it off. We offer breakfast and lunch at all of our locations, and we will be going through August 8th. The only day we won't be serving is going to be July 4th. It's a Friday this year. And with that, we know that as we've set up these locations, we strategically look across the city, what's going to work. We work with other programs within our district to know these are the places where kids will come and eat. So we focus on that so we can draw in the most.
Right, and so there's a certain time frame each day, about an hour or so at each location, right? I know that varies a little bit, but tell us about generally how it works, the breakfast, the lunch, what's required, and then the locations.
So for breakfast, we serve breakfast every day from 8 to 8:30. They do have to consume it on site, same with lunch. And so it's coming in, there's no qualifications for walking in the door. You walk in, you get your food, you sit down and eat it. And if any adults or people over the age of 18 would be coming in, they would have a fee for that. At lunchtime, we serve lunch every day. It'll be from 11:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
And we open the doors at 11:30, we close them at 12:30. Again, food has to be consumed on site at that point.
Right, and those rules are rules that are handed to us from the federal government, because this is a program that is funded through the Department of Agriculture, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so the rules that we have, we're just passing those along, but the beauty of it is that it doesn't matter what your income eligibility would be, it's available to all. So if I wanted to send my children to eat at school during the summer, Monday through Friday, they could.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's interesting because even a family from Florida could be traveling through because we'll be sharing this on a national website.
Sure.
That if they stop in Sioux Falls and it's one of our locations, they could be fed with no questions asked.
Right. In fact, we might not even know they're from
Correct.
Florida because we're literally not standing there asking anyone to check in or to check income guidelines or anything like that.
Right.
We welcome everyone who comes to the door, age 1 through
18.
Right? And then additionally, if there are adults, then as you said, there would be a fee.
Correct.
But that program is available and has been for a number of years. You want to list off our sites for
Certainly.
us?
We have Rosa Parks this year, Terry Redlin, Hayward, Eugene Field, Robert Frost, Susan B. Anthony, and Sonia Sotomayor.
Okay, and why are those again chosen? They're strategically placed. There are other food programs in our community as well that other agencies are running, but these are kind of scattered throughout the community in the right way?
So part of some of how this was planned is through the CLC programs within the school district. Where are they locating students at? So we know that we already have a base of kids coming.
Right.
And then the walk-in capability. Some of our other locations that we've been open at in the summer in the past, maybe only 20 people come in at a site, and it doesn't. I want to feed everybody, but you can't do it.
Right. So we're trying to make it available to as many people as possible.
Correct.
And so we're continually looking at the usage of those sites as well. So awesome. Well, any other words of advice for families looking for getting their kids fed over the summer?
Well, we're looking at a 3-week menu cycle again. We kind of pull the top items from the year's menu.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a repetitive cycle. So look for the menu coming out. It'll be there. And when you come ready to eat. And we're going to be more than happy to feed you.
Awesome. Thanks, Gay. Thanks for all you do. You do a ton to keep our kiddos focused.
Thank you.
During the school year and also in the summer. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks to our partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club of Sioux Falls, MV, Volunteers of America, and YMCA, we have lots of opportunities for kiddos in our Community Learning Center program. We call them the CLCs. And Mike Mortland is here. How many students do we have enrolled for this year, and do we have room for more?
As of right now, we have about just over 1,100 students enrolled for our summer program. We do still have space available at some of our sites. If families and parents are interested, they can contact our Community Learning Center office at 367-4424. And our enrollment team will be happy to help them out and direct them to what locations we have openings at.
Okay, very good. So these locations are open from what time to what time?
We open at 6:30 in the morning and close as late as 6 p.m.
Okay, and so summer full care. Talk to me about what happens during a day at CLC in the summer.
Busy. We keep the kids very busy. Kids usually go on either swimming or field trips multiple days a week. About 3 days a week they're off-site in some way, shape, or form. They have activities going on in the morning, which vary from STEM activities, art activities, gym games, just a variety of stuff to keep the kids active and continually learning during the summer. The other thing they'll do in the afternoon is they'll have their free play time where they can go outside for recess. They have hot lunches provided for the students in all of the programs as well. And then they'll have free play at the end of the day where they can just kind of hang out and do what they want to do with their friends.
Maybe have downtime or just, get on the playground equipment, hang out, literally hang out.
Yep, great opportunity for to build some relationships with kids that might not be at their school.
Sure.
A great opportunity for them to build relationships with staff. A lot of college-age kids, a lot of staff who've been working with kids for a number of years in a number of different settings. Great opportunities for them to build relationships with adults too.
So it's kindergarten through 5th?
Finished kindergarten through finished 5th grade, correct.
Okay, perfect. I know some of the older kids sometimes are thinking, we can, maybe they can stay at home, that type of thing. It gets real old real quick.
It does. It does. You know, the one advantage of it is not every classroom or every grade level is run the same way. There's a lot of similar expectations, but our staff understands that the older kids need to be taught and played with and cared for a little bit differently than those kindergartners.
Yeah.
So they're very good at recognizing those needs of the kids.
Right, and I'm just thinking those days at home get so boring that, you know, sometimes a routine of, I know we're going swimming today, or I know we're going to the zoo. I know you guys have done some other field trips.
Yes.
Talk to me about those.
Lots of stuff. We go to the Washington Pavilion. There's so many different places.
Canaries, you go to
We've gone to the
Canaries?
Canaries games in the past. Students will go bowling. They'll go to we keep them busy.
Lots of resources
lots
in
of
our
resources.
community.
Yes, there's lots of great partners in our community we've been able to work with. So trying to get 1,100 kids a week out in the community can be a task,
Sure.
but our staff does a great job with that.
And they're supervised.
And
That's
they
good.
are supervised. And the nice thing too, the advantage is some of your kids, if they are the fifth grader and you want them home some days, and maybe you just send them on field trip days, great. You know, that's an option for you as a parent too.
Okay, so really look into it. Our community learning centers are evolving
Correct.
as our community needs evolve, and check us out, because certainly there's a place for your kiddo if needed. And tell us again that phone number.
Phone number again is 605-367-4424.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Each of our high schools runs a program called Connections for incoming ninth graders, and Josh Smith is part of that program over at Lincoln High School.
Yeah.
Tell us, what would a student coming into ninth grade, they know everything already, right?
That's right. Yeah.
No, what are you going through when they enroll in Connections?
Yeah. So Connections is basically a high school 101.
Okay.
And they get an opportunity to learn about what it's like to be a freshman. When you're an eighth grader, a student really has some different goals in mind, and when you get to high school, it becomes credit-based and showing up on time and doing the work and just being a great person really comes down to what's important.
Absolutely.
And so we teach those things through Connections.
Awesome. So are there academics involved in that process as well? Or I believe there's a half a credit
Yeah, so it's
connected
credit
to it.
based. We'll do about 8 days in the summer. Each school does it a little bit differently, still kind of the same framework.
Sure.
But a couple of schools do 2 sessions, one in June and one in July. We do at Lincoln, we do 1 session in July, the last 2 weeks of July, and then Roosevelt does 1 session as well. It's credit based, so we do some reading activities. Students are expected to be there every day. If they miss, they probably will have a makeup time where they have to do a little extra work. But yeah, it's high school 101. And so we go through what we've kind of developed as a curriculum for that and help students grow in the areas of skill development in reading and writing, some things like organizational skills.
What incoming ninth grader doesn't need organizational
yes,
skills?
absolutely. Yeah. So they'll
Speaking
get
from my own perspective, and then my perspective as a parent to 3 teen kids.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, they can always benefit from something like
They
that,
do.
and really then they become more familiar with the school and sort of expectations. It's kind of like checking those things off the list even before that first day of school.
Yeah, so each student they get paired up with mentors in small groups, and those mentors, peer mentors, so they're upperclassmen, juniors and seniors that are at our schools that really want to help students be successful, and they go through their schedules, they walk their schedule, they learn about the best paths to take in the school to get to their next location. They meet teachers, they meet all the administrators. They just get to really have an opportunity to feel what high school is like on a daily basis, because it's 8:20 to 3:15 every day. They have a lunch half hour, and then they just get right back to it.
Awesome. So if a student is interested in participating in this, every one of our schools, high schools, has this program. They need to reach out to administration at their high school they will be attending.
Yep, and right now we have in all of our school newsletters, if you're a future student at the high school, there's the Future Patriot newsletter, and every school has that. And so in there's registration opportunities in those newsletters, and then also the school newsletter, but also your middle schools have the registration forms as well that have been sent out to them.
Sure.
And so contacting even your middle school counselor would help, but if you would want to contact any of the high schools, that would be a great way to get started as well.
At the high schools, we call it Connections.
Yep.
At the middle school, we just heard a bit ago,
Yeah.
we call it Running
Running
Start.
Start, yep.
But the premise of both programs is the
Yep.
same.
Similar
Build community,
experience.
get kids in,
Yep.
get them comfortable so that they can be
Absolutely.
successful on day one.
Yep, absolutely. And really the only difference between that is we do it for 8 days.
Yeah.
And because we're going to get you a high school credit before you even start high school. And so it's a great start in getting toward that graduation expectation.
Very good.
Goal is to graduate on time with your peers.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, Josh, for
Yeah.
supporting those kids along
You
the way.
bet. Thank you.
David Maxwell is here from Lincoln High School to talk about some summer programming we have going on. You are the activities principal, and there's activities in the summer? Of course there are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a year-round deal for pretty much everybody
Right.
these days.
So
yeah.
what kinds of things can students participate in over the summer months at their school?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. I would say from all ages, we could talk about our summer camps first. And so at Lincoln High School, and this would be applicable for all of the high schools in the Sioux Falls School District, there will be summer camps offered basically every week, all summer. Most of the camps are usually 3rd grade through 12th grade. There are some that get down into the kindergarten ages, but those not quite as often. But I would check with your activities office at each of the respective high schools to look at that. But that's really how all of our, we talk about all students in the Sioux Falls School District being able to be involved. When we talk about our incoming freshmen through seniors, we'll have summer strength and conditioning programs at each of the high schools that are gonna that they'll run. And then we'll also have open field, open gym, open mat, which basically allows our coaches for our athletic programs to basically be holding pretty much practices kind of throughout the summer based on South Dakota High School Activities Association rules. So I think really important for any kids that are going to be incoming freshmen in particular to be right now looking at what are the things that are happening at the high school that my child's going to be going to, because you can obviously get started in the fall, but in my opinion, it's way better if you can get connected in the summer and you're showing up to, if you're going out for football or cross country or volleyball or any of those, in particular that start in the fall, that you want to get connected as early as you possibly can in the summer and get into those open gyms and start meeting the coaches and other athletes that are on the team.
Yeah, and all of like the open gyms and that type of thing, there's no fee for that, correct? You're just showing up and really getting your start, getting connected to the team and that type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So open gym, open field, all of those things, those are all free. The summer strength and conditioning, all of our high schools have tremendous strength and conditioning coaches. Those programs are also all free, so you don't have to pay for anything with those. The camps, there's a fee that goes with those, but I would also tell you that pretty much every activities director and coach is going to work with you. If the fee is an issue, we're going to find a way. We want kids being able to be at our events and camps and programs that we have going on in the summer.
Sure. So that is something that should not deter a family if their kid is super passionate about one particular sport. Look into it at least and get connected to find out if there are resources available in the community, either through the school or also I'll mention the United Way has some, they're called Connecting Kids certificates. And a student can use one of those certificates to pay for a camp of up to, I believe, a $100 value. And so that's a great opportunity as well for getting everyone involved, because we really do want kids to be doing productive things over the summer months.
Yeah, absolutely. Money and fees should never be an issue for you in the summer. I can say wholeheartedly that if you call the activities office at any of the high schools, they're going to find a way to make it work to get our kids at the camps and whatever activities we have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So really want kids to be connected. I wanted to mention the strength and conditioning. It's not just, show up and pump a bunch of weight that is, maybe not the right way. And kids are really learning about the right way to fuel their body with food and build their muscles and things like that. So important for kids. Not that going to the gym, unsupervised is horrible, but this is a great opportunity for kids to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there right now for kids with personal trainers and all of those kinds of things. What I'd tell you is, I think we have some of the best strength and conditioning coaches that you could ask for. I've been a part of some pretty high level strength and conditioning programs in colleges and high schools, and I think the programs that are offered within the Sioux Falls School District are as good as you can get. And they're free, and they're specifically designed for your child. And so I don't think you need to look elsewhere than what's being offered from that perspective. And so definitely take advantage of that resource.
Absolutely. Well, and get into your school, get connected. Ultimately, on the first day of school in the fall, everybody's going to feel a lot more comfortable if they've already had some experiences with the team, with the teachers, with everybody involved. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.